stained glass window and plastic colors are all that you can know.
Hello there, and happy Saturday to you, thrill seekers. That song was called Martyred Under Mary, and it is the first song on the third Dementia 13 album called Disturb the Air. So that's me. That's me singing and playing the guitar on that album, on Disturb the Air. I had some other people playing with me on some of the other Dementia 13 albums. I did it all myself, but that's with other people. So there you go. And the reason I played you that song is, well, last night I was sitting around listening to Husker Du. And because I'd done the Husker Du song and I've been reading a book about Husker Du and stuff. So I'm listening to Husker Du and I'm thinking, God, this Husker Du really influenced my songwriting and guitar style on Disturb the Air. I thought that Disturb the Air was written during a time when my favorite album was Warehouse Songs and Stories by Husker Du, but I had all this sort of psychedelic 60s influence going on too, which also Husker Du had. So I switched over, and because Dementia 13 with an I, D-I-M-E-N-T-A, not D-E-M, is available on Spotify. I switched over and I started listening to the Dementia 13 album, Disturb the Air. And I thought, I was a pretty good songwriter. I mean, among the people who were active at that time, who were the big famous songwriters in the indie underground movement, people like Bob Mould and Grant Hart from Husker Du, or Paul Westerberg from The Replacements, Wayne Coyne from Flaming Lips, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, these kind of songwriters who I think are fantastic. I was as good as any of them. Now, you might disagree based on that snippet of song, but that's not the point. The point is, I can sit there and listen to it from 30 years removed and go, that kid who I kind of don't identify with quite as strongly as I used to, I can go, that kid, that 25 or 27-year-old kid, or however old I was when I did that album, was as good as the other 27-year-olds who got more famous in the field. Objectively speaking, those are good songs, and that's a damn good album. And thinking this way, I also kind of started thinking, well, if I said that out loud, like on a video, like to you folks out there, I'd probably get accused of being egotistical. And people knowing that I am a Zen Buddhist teacher writing books about Zen Buddhism and teaching about Zen Buddhism would probably pop up in the comments going, oh, look at the ego, you're not transcending ego, you're so egotistical, and they would accuse me of not being a good Buddhist because I was too egotistical, because I think that my songwriting was as good as the best of the people of my generation of songwriters out there active in the 80s. And that accusation of not transcending the ego, well, whether I've transcended the ego or not is maybe beside the point. I'm not trying to make the point that I've transcended the ego, but it's a misunderstanding of what is meant in Buddhism by the idea of transcending the ego or transcending the self. That's one of the reasons I've stopped using the word ego. In the early days of Buddhism being translated into English, ego was often used. And so it gave people the idea that this was about transcending ego. But it's not ego in the sense of knowing that you are good at something and being confident in your ability to do that thing. That is not what Buddhism is trying to transcend. And by way of example, I can give you just a couple that come to mind right away. Dogen. Dogen, in the sense of knowing that he was damn good at something and being confident about that, he displayed that all the time in his writings. You can feel that confidence coming out of his writings. to the point where he is willing to even criticize famous masters of the past who are highly revered. He comes out against a lot of people who, Buddhists around the world think are the greats. He criticizes them very boldly and very stridently. Another example would be my own teacher, Gudo Wafu Nishijima. I remember him one time saying that, he said something like, I think anybody who wants to study Buddhism should study only with me. Like he was the only Buddhist teacher who was worth studying with. Now, I don't know, if you'd asked him, he might have been able to name some other Buddhist teachers who he thought were good, but he also knew that there weren't many. There were very few who were as good as Gudo Wafu Nishijima, and I will say that too. There's really, really few, very few and very far between who were as good as the teacher that I had the privilege of studying with. And God protect me for saying this, but there are very few people who are as good as I am at doing what I do, at writing these books about Buddhism and talking about it and doing these videos. There's really very little competition in there. Of course, most of the people who are highly regarded by the masses, I don't hold in very high regard, I'm afraid, but maybe that's just me. But there aren't many. There really aren't, and I know that, and I have the confidence of that. Now, the thing about transcending the self is how much attachment do I have to that thing that is a damn good songwriter and a damn good Buddhist teacher. How much do I hold that? How much do I think that I have to be that? How much do I think I have to defend that or fight against people who disagree with that, or protect and defend this self, just in general? And the answer is, for me, less and less every day. I don't really care. There are times when I go to a Barnes and Noble and I think, oh, they have that guy's book and that guy's book and that guy's book, but where's mine? Mine are better than those. But I don't necessarily feel hurt by that, or slighted by that, or like I got to go do something about that. I just kind of look at it and go, interesting that the better books aren't represented, but the worst books are. And that's just kind of the way it goes. Look at how many views this video gets. Maybe 1,000 or 2,000. If somebody else is on there getting 10,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million views, and saying stuff that's not as good. But, okay, that's what people like, I guess. And that's kind of how I feel about it. But it doesn't mean I lose the confidence that I have in what I do and the message I have. I'm not trying to destroy that. And that's the mistake some people make when they hear about destroying the self. They think it's about destroying confidence and destroying any understanding that they have personal abilities, strengths, and things that they can offer to the world, and that's not a good situation. That's a really bad situation that I've seen a lot of Buddhists, wannabe Buddhists, or people who are trying to be Buddhists. Let's say wannabe sounds disparaging. I mean, people who are sincerely trying. They get into that trap of trying to destroy themselves, in the sense of trying to destroy their own confidence and their own belief in themselves and their abilities, and that's not what this is about. It's about something quite different from that. So, I don't know. I guess I'll just leave it at that for today. I hope you enjoyed the song and the interesting special effects, which I hope came out, because I haven't done them yet as of this recording, but we'll see. I'm going to be in Europe, and the dates are showing up on your screen. I will be in Germany, Finland, Belgium, France, and England. Not in that order. I don't know why I keep jumbling the order every time. But if you want links, or a link where you can find clickable links to find more information on how you can join any of these events, go to hardcorezen.info/events. All right, thank you. And I appreciate your support. So if you want to continue supporting me, you can go to the URL you're seeing on the screen below, which is hardcorezen.info/donate. That is hardcorezen.info/donate. There you will find links to my PayPal and Patreon accounts. Those are my main ways of making a living, and I really appreciate your support. As I keep saying, even though I'm getting paid for most of the events I'm doing in Europe, it won't be enough to make a living off of, so your donations are still very important to me, so I appreciate them. But as always, this is offered for free, so you don't gotta donate if you don't want to donate. We will see you next time. Have a good time all the time. Next time I see you, I'll probably be broadcasting from Europe if I'm able to do videos while I'm over there. Bye.
Go, sweet go! What's happening? Yes, they're all three of them.